On to lesson 12.2 on multiplying matrices. We are going to go through that process briefly, and then you will have plenty of time to get your assignment for today done. So to multiply two matrices together, if you have A times B, matrix B must have the same number of rows as matrix A has columns. So let's just make up a situation here. We have matrix A has 3 rows and 2 columns. Right, so we'll just make up some data here. And we are going to multiply matrix A by matrix B. And we're going to say that, so let's just write our dimensions down here. This is a 3 by 2 matrix. And matrix B is a 2 by 4 matrix. Right? So there's my data. If we are asked to multiply A times B, right, we're asked to do A times B, what I need to do is to make sure that matrix B has the same number of rows as matrix A has columns. And ultimately, I need to check that when I write that out, that these inside terms match. They have to match. And if they don't match, I cannot multiply the matrices. And if they do match, I can. What I am, my product matrix then is going to be these 2 outside values. So when I multiply matrix A by matrix B, in this case, I know because these inside terms match, my outside terms, the 3 and the 4, are going to be my dimensions for the product matrix. So my product is going to be a 3 by 4 matrix. So here is the process of multiplying 2 matrices. Once I confirm that, yes, I can multiply them, okay, we're going to multiply the terms of the top row of matrix A by the elements of the first column of matrix B. Right, so looking here, if I am asked to multiply A times B, first I need to confirm, can I do A times B? So here's my A. It is a 1 by 3. And I'm going to rewrite my B matrix over here. It is a 3 by 4 matrix, fairly large matrix, the 153. And I'm just going to write this first column down for now. Okay. Yes, these inside terms match. So I know that my product matrix is going to be a 1 by 4 matrix. Okay, so just a quick overview of this process. I am going to multiply the first row by the first column. And then I will go through and add all of those terms together. So I will do 2 times 153 and then 3 times 12 plus 1 times 82. And that in my product matrix, my 1 by 4, that will give me this first term. Okay, and I will have to go through that for all 4 of these columns in my original matrix. So I have to end up multiplying all the elements together in that pattern. And it is fairly complex and it would be quite time consuming. So in reality, we are going to rely on a calculator to do that. We could use our TI-83s. Desmos also has a nice matrix tool. So I would type in, I would hit the new matrix button, and then I have to tell it my dimensions, right? So I have a 1 by 3 matrix. I enter that data in, and I hit enter. And then I need a new matrix for matrix B, and it is a 3 by 4 matrix. And I would have to type in all of that data, which takes a decent amount of time. Sometimes the more complex the problem, the longer it's going to take you to type in, but it is still going to be faster than doing all the calculating by hand. Once I have that done, the hard work is done, and I will just tell the calculator I want to multiply A times B. And when I hit enter, I get my product matrix there. We do see that it is a 1 by 4, right? So the 424, 598, 517, and 680. Okay, so there is no expectation in my class that you will actually multiply the matrices out by hand. I just went over it briefly to see if you, just so you had an idea, and then I expect you to go in and use calculator for that. In example 2, we are determining whether these products are defined, right? So can I multiply them? And that is where I check those inside terms. So in example A, the 4s match. The 3 by 2 is going to be my product matrix. In example B, the 2 and the 4 do not match, right? So no solution, undefined, dimension error, all things you might see as possible ways to say, hey, I cannot multiply these two matrices. So for example 3, I already have our first matrix entered into the calculator. One thing, for some reason, our notes use K and L. Our calculator won't go that high, so we're just going to rename these as A and B. So this first one will be A times B, and the second one will be B times A. Right, so I have A entered in already. This we're going to say is B. So I'm going to hit new matrix. I have to tell it the dimensions again, right? So I need a 3 by 2. The nice thing is we can visualize it there. And then I enter my data in. I use the over arrows. Right, so there is my second matrix. And so they ask us to multiply one way, right? And so for this first one, I get a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, and for the second one, then it asks me to switch the order. Now, normally multiplication order does not matter, but in matrix multiplication, it most certainly does, right? So I had a 2 by 2 matrix before for A times B. For B times A, I have a 3 by 3 matrix with completely different values, right? So you can see that our order most certainly matters for matrix multiplication, right? So that's our last question then. Does order matter? That's a big yes, right? We saw that it gave us two very different matrices based on that multiplication order. That is it for lesson 11.2.